Okay, it's January 23rd, 2013, and I was going to make a video giving you all an update on my living conditions here, how I'm surviving the snow, show you I haven't frozen to death. And I'll do that soon. But I was in town today, and I came across a particular news headline, and heard some compelling commentary on it, which spurred a lot of emotion in me, and brought me back to that place, to some of the things that I was speaking about at great length when I was doing Outside the Box TV in Portland, Oregon. And to start out with, there are so many ways the family structure's been destabilized. So many ways men and women have been turned against one another. And this recent announcement about Panetta changing the policy with the military to put women, our women, at the front lines of these illegal and racist occupations. You know what's difficult for me is knowing I live in a reality where so many people have these spiritual views in this country where they believe in karma. Yet a selective understanding of karma. Oh, this is karma, but this isn't karma. Nothing bad can happen from this. We're going to be raptured out of this. We're going to be saved by the consciousness collective shift out of this. We're not going to have to actually deal with the consequences of our actions as a country and face our own karma. You know, the end of this road is a new world order led by China. And over the course of this next decade, as things break down and they work to manufacture their civil war, some of it revolving around the gun issue, some of it revolving around other things, including this idea of being independent from the grid. It's under attack. It's being demonized. It's certainly frowned upon, the idea of living independently from this draconian system. And it doesn't mean that it's impossible, or that they're already coming for us. There's a lot of fear that they put out there deliberately to stop you from even trying to be independent. But we're going to see these things ramp up over the next decade, and at the end of that period of time, that is the time where this conflict with China is likely to arise. It could also be perceived as not a conflict with China, but a situation where China is invited into the United States to occupy this country, to restore order. And in a lot of visions that people have had about the Chinese invasion, there's not much of a U.S. military fighting them. But without getting deep into this and keeping this on the particular topic at point, about the role of women that the dark forces in control of this country and this planet are moving in. When China gets here, and I've stated this for years, we're going to have, we're likely to have, we may have, the worst human trafficking epidemic in the history of this country, and we're dealing with white women. Being taken by the Chinese military, you know the facts about the one-child policy, 30 million more men than women. Think about all the lessons of history that we have. Whether you look at Nazi Germany, and after they fell, when the Russians came in and raped 50 million women. The horrible things even the Indian tribes would do to other tribes. When the Utes came down into this Pacific Valley where I am, where the Apaches and the Comanches lived, they gang raped like there was no tomorrow. When Japan invaded not King China, the details are so gruesome, I'm not even going to get into it. Here's a book called Hidden Horrors, Japanese War Crimes in World War II. There are hundreds to thousands of examples. And I understand that this is traumatizing for a lot of women to look at that live in this country, that think that we live in a different world now, that we're no longer in a jungle. That this is a system that serves them, that will always be there to protect them. While they grope them at the airport, while stories come out about women being raped in the military, Pentagon destroys the rape kits. There's lots of stories about this. You can find them online. So they've gone after our boys, programmed them to hate the enemy. And now that things are so divided in this country and melting down economically, where more people are looking towards the police state and the military-industrial complex for a job just to survive, they're going for the women. You have G.I. Jane, you have the Kate Perry music video, where she joins the military. This is the same Kate Perry, or Katy Perry, that, and this is going into another area which may be connected to this. Same Kate Perry who sang the song E.T., which is about women having sex with aliens. It's a serenade to the fallen gods. So part of the end result of the breakdown of the family is implanting these sexual fantasies about Earth women looking towards our creators, our friends, the Brotherhood, the Galactic Federation of Light, to come down and give us a ride in their spacecraft, upgrade our DNA. And this bullshit has been injected into the collective consciousness through pop culture. People go, oh no, Lady Gaga's just doing that. They're just playing the roles of the sex slave because they're liberated now. How many times have you heard that? Oh, this is sexual liberation. We're at war. This is like Rome. We have the UFC. Pornography is a lot more vile than it's ever been, I guess, in the known history of pornography, however back that goes. And it's all a reflection of itself. And you look at the world that we live in, how we treat the environment, how we treat the ground we walk upon. We are raping it 24/7 collectively as a species, as a civilization. We are fucking this earth up in ways that are not even being addressed with the so-called mainstream environmentalists. What do you think this does to the female consciousness? Now, a lot of this does come down to women. Women could change the world overnight. If their own particular dreams, desires, cravings were in a direction that was towards peace, towards only being with men that are for promoting peace, not men that are soldiers that go out and kill other people from other countries in this racist illegal occupation because of the big 9/11 lie. I mean, it was bad enough that they staged 9/11. And millions have died in the Middle East, all by design, and it wasn't just the United States in on the 9/11 cover-up. There's a story out right now that's very important about HSBC, which is connected to China, wiring money to the 9/11 suspects. And all different types of drug cartels around the world, Iran, there's a bunch of other things on the list, $60 trillion. HSBC is a lot more international than the United States. So when you look at 9/11, all the players, all the countries benefiting from this gang rape of Afghanistan, think about all the dark karma that comes with that. Babylon, the great Babylon that should fall, is not just simply the United States. We're talking about a larger system of control that is working so hard to warp and rape the minds of women around the planet. I talk about karma here. I talk about, we have to understand why we're in the circumstances that we're in and where things are going. This is paradise to where things could be. And I could say if there's not a collective wake up, we've got about a decade before this is likely to really kick off. It's now 2013. Yes, there are people waking up to the advances of technology. Yes, people are waking up to these ideas like free energy. Yes, people are waking up that something is wrong. Yes, there are people seeking deeper spiritual truths like never before with the advent of the internet and all the books in distribution, all the books being published. Yet you look around outside, You look at what's happening in Washington, D.C., and they're still invading country after country after country. And of course, we have a topsoil issue in this country. How are we going to feed ourselves when the soil isn't going to yield enough food for 7 billion people on the planet? And you look at the United States, it's very fertile when you compare it to the rest of the world. And you look at all the farmland and all the farmers losing their property because of the economy, and they can't even afford it. The cost of grain going up, can't even feed the cattle, the drought issue. There's lots of things we're facing in this country at the same time. While they train Boy Scouts to go after disgruntled veterans. And who are these Boy Scouts? These are products of women. They're children. So you can see the systematic breakup of the family, send the man off to war. And long before that, set up this competitive system where men and women are fighting over jobs. Or in the old days, the cost of living was a lot less than it is today. People could get by. Both parents didn't have to be out of the house working, but now the jobs are diminishing. They're not coming back, but there's war after war, and you have a military-industrial complex in bed with MSNBC, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, and NPR. They talk about a fake war on women. The only women's rights issue I've heard about is for the right to murder your own baby. But what about the babies that are being murdered over there, which have come from women? Those babies murdered over there had mothers! They had mothers! Oh, I'm extreme. Oh, I'm just taking this too far. I'm going to articulate at some point in time how they targeted the female mind. On a spiritual level, how the dark forces intimidate women to staying away from men that might be good for them or going in their own direction, being independent. The dark archonic mind control, mind parasite operational system is set on maintaining a system of bondage over females and using females to control females. All this illusion of rising up and becoming more equal. You mean if you could overpower us, if we're at battle? See, it takes a man and a woman to create a child. And yet we're taught in this world we don't need each other, and that there's no karma really in the larger sense, just some things that we want to believe in. And that the system will save us. A cell phone will always work for you if there's danger. They'll always be there for you. There's never going to be any invasion of this country. Everything is fine. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm 13 minutes in this video and I'm speechless. And I think in my head about a real women's rights, a rights movement that goes beyond anything anyone has ever said before, or try to use to prop up their own, political podium. We're not going to see a shift in consciousness until women start getting very concerned about how other women are being brutalized at the hands of government. This is one of the most serious issues the women of the earth face at this time. Because of sexuality, because of what men seek, women can influence men to do different things than what they're doing. But the question is, are they attracted to the man, though, that wants to fight those things? Or are they attracted to the man that looks good in uniform? It's all a big story, this whole fraud about what's protecting you and what's not protecting you. Because it's in a woman's nature to be with a man that can't protect her. And this system markets itself to women as a system that will protect them. Because you do have the social ills in our world. People that kidnap women, you call the police, you call 911. But everything's become so warped now, and men and women are so divided, that if the dependency is on the system, then what happens if that system breaks down? And you don't have someone to back you up. It feels, I want to make 2 videos out of this.